How do you build a network, run a profitable business, and make an impact? Oh, and have a personal life at the same time? That's the question, and this podcast is the answer. I'm your host, Chaz Wilson, husband, father of 5, author of the book 5+1, president and co-founder of Master Networks Inc., a national networking organization. Look, each week I bring you successful entrepreneurs who will share success strategies of how to effectively build a network, add valuable wisdom to your journey, and help you succeed. Welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper. All right, everybody, welcome to Connect, Share, Prosper, where each week I bring you influential entrepreneurs who are out making a difference in this world, helping others connect, build their tribe. I'm fortunate today to have Chad Hymas on Connect, Share, Prosper. Now, this man is so busy. He is at an airport and agreed to take some time. So yes, there'll be a little background noise. Don't worry about that. His message will be clear and it'll come through. But Chad, I'm so fortunate. You've been at our Connect the last couple of years. You're coming again. Thank you for taking some time to be with me today.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I think this is 4 years. I think this is 4, Chaz. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You're our only speaker other than myself that'll be there for 4 straight years. So we're pleased to have you there.
I'm honored.
Yeah, ours as well, our honor. So let me just, for those of you who don't know who Chad is, let me just give you a quick introduction. And for those of you who are watching, I've got a picture here of Chad's book, Doing What Must Be Done. Excuse me. In the front, though, I want to share something with you about Chad. So we're going to talk about this here in a second, but on April 3rd, 2001, Chad's life changed forever. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Now, what I want you to understand is that it changed, but in a very positive way. He's changed lives. He's a world record wheelchair athlete, which, Chad, I heard you share this story last time about wheeling your chair from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, which, by the way, guys, is 513 miles. You've also been named one of the 10 most inspirational people in the world by the Wall Street Journal. Chad, not only that, you are just an inspiration to me and my family, and I honor you as a friend as well, not just a speaker that speaks at our event, but as a friend. So again, thank you for being part of this show.
Well, my pleasure. I feel like I'm part of the family. I do. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for our relationship as well.
Yeah, likewise, and you are. So I think that's interesting. If for those that don't know, and I would love for you to just share your story, if you will. I mean, I think it was 18 years ago, almost to the day, your life changed forever. Can you walk people through what happened?
Interesting. You just said that we celebrated 18 years. I do mean celebrated because I still get to be here. We never know when that time, when we're called back, but we just celebrated 18 years 2 days ago. Today's the 5th. It was April 3rd, 2001. And so it's a significant week and a significant time in my life. This week is for sure. And I can tell you that like many people that are listening to this and yourself, I believe that I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I never wanted to speak for a living. I never necessarily wanted to build a tribe, although I was building businesses. That's what I was building, building businesses and selling them, mainly in the construction realm and in the real estate realm. So turning over homes, having rental units, and running landscape development company, building that up, and then selling that when the time was right. And I thought that I would do that for the rest of my life. I really enjoyed that passion and thought that my influence in the world was maximizing its potential. How's that?
Yeah.
And I also had a great personal passion when I was not doing that, and that was just growing a ranch. And Shondell and I always have wanted to raise our kids in the outdoors and on a ranch. And long story short, Shondell had asked me to get home early one night on April 3rd, 2001, to play some ball with the kids. They were 3 and 1, and the 1-year-old had just started to walk. And so I went to the field and had an accident while I was out in the field. A bale of hay had fallen off of a tractor that I blatantly ignored a malfunction on, and that bale of hay that weighs more than a truck landed on my body, specifically my head, punched my head, bent it the wrong way, right to the steering wheel. The shaft is what went through my mouth, and it broke everything in its path, including the bones in my neck and 95% of my spinal cord, and I became what I am today. And that is a quadriplegic. So I'm 95% numb, My hands don't have any feeling or movement. Neither do my legs. Lost my stomach muscles, 2 out of my 3 chest muscles, and most of the strength and use of my upper body. I do have shoulders. Fast forward, here we are 18 years, and I'm sitting here in Detroit by myself in a push wheelchair that I push with my shoulders. And I found out that I don't have to be on the acreage of 650 acres to farm. Today I'm farming people. And so I, in essence, Chaz, I kind of consider myself a lot like you. I am building the belief in others that they can grow their passion and their tribe. And I don't have to think inside the box of a small 650 acre ranch. I mean, it's been 89 countries on all 7 pieces of ground that God made. And in my mind, that's a big ranch. And I get to be part of that with Connect. And I love that. And so that's the short version of what took place, and kind of a quick version of where we're at right now today. There's lots of little nuances that we share and we will share in our VIP session of what are the principles that allowed somebody with that circumstance to reach a place that most don't reach. And it certainly has nothing to do with money. It's got nothing to do with more strength. In fact, it probably has more to do with our weaknesses than it does our strengths. And so we'll probably talk a little bit about that in our VIP session coming up.
So thank you for sharing that, Chad, and I know a very personal experience. And I love that you said celebrating. Guys, if you're listening to this, I have Chad Hymas on the show, and he's going to be doing our VIP event Thursday night of Connect. So if you want to get a seat, VIP sold out, but you can get a special ticket. Go to the website. You can register just for the VIP event itself and be part of that. Chad, those listening to this, this is something that fascinates me. And I think I heard once somebody said, how do you take a mess in your life and make it a message? Now that mess could be something very significant. And I think anytime there's something in our life that's a challenge, a tragic thing, to any variance of challenge, it could be significant to one and maybe it's not significant to others. So whatever that challenge is that somebody has right now in their life, could be a death, it could be a divorce, it could be a physical challenge, whatever that is. How did you take this? Like, I'm sure it wasn't instant, but how did you take this and go, I'm going to now make this my message and change lives and do that? How did you do that? Who helped, frame that for you?
I think the second question is better than the first, for sure. So we don't have to know the ingredients to make a message per se, and you don't have to know the ingredients to make lemonade, but you do have to have people around you that do. I surrounded myself, Chaz, with great people. First and foremost, a very supporting wife and children. I would not be sharing a message today if it wasn't for them. I would have gained nothing if I would be traveling around the world and sharing a message of positivity to people if I would have lost what was most important to me. And I almost threw that away. Not because she wanted to leave me, not because she didn't love me, but because I was willing to give up what my number one value was of family. That's why we had the ranch in the first place. And so again, you don't need to know the ingredients and you don't need to know how to make lemonade, but you got to hang around people that have done it or that are doing it. And I think that's part of the reason why you and I tag team so well together, is that there's a little bit of, and I say this with humility, there's a little bit of credibility there in trying to stay positive. And I think that people like to hang around people that are positive. That's one of the great things we teach in sales and in building tribes, is people like to do business with people that they like. It's as simple as that. And they like people that make them their best self. And so one of the ingredients that we will talk about is being a likable person. And how do you do that? And there are 11 principles that I teach about being a likable person. And we're going to talk about that. There was a time in my life that I wasn't likable. And it was right after I was injured. I certainly wasn't very likable. And again, I almost threw away my biggest fans. And so hanging around good people is a part of that. And then the second thing I would like to maybe just add is that one of the biggest attributes that has allowed me to be the only person with my level of ability to travel by myself is to focus on what I have and to not focus on what I've lost. And there's a lot of losses in life. There's certainly a lot of losses that people have gone through that are listening to this podcast. And a lot of times we'll put our focus on those losses and we're going to be miserable, unhappy. And it's very, very difficult to have a positive impact when you're focusing on the negative things that you've lost. So here's just one sidebar reference, and that would be to ask people to reference their losses by honoring them, by finding a way to do some good with them. Just a quick example, last year, you know that I fell out of my bed while at your event. That's a loss. I mean, that's a huge hit. It's a loss to my mindset. It's definitely a bad start to a day, good start to depression, for sure. Right before I'm supposed to go out to your audience. And lo and behold, had some help with your team, had some help with you, had some help with the hotel. And within a matter of minutes, I was fine. So again, make your losses and your weaknesses your strengths. And you do that again by surrounding yourself with good people. I'll never forget how that all transpired out. We were able to share that from the stage, how that all transpired and how people can do that in their lives. That's how you honor a loss. You honor loss that way, just by the way that you look at that, by your perspective. Go ahead, Chaz.
No, I love that. And I just want to share, because I want our listeners to understand that experience in the sense of my perspective of it, right? So
sure, go ahead. Sure.
You know, I'm on stage when that happened, right? Or we were kicking off the event. I don't know how long you were there, but I remember prior to the event, you and I had a call, and you said, I'd like to be at the event early, because you were speaking after me. You said, I'd like to come in the room early enough. I'll sit in the back and just, I'll wheel into the back. I'll listen to you. I want to hear your message. And I thought that was great. And I remember thinking that, because I honor you. I respect you as a person, speaker, businessman, everything. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to hear Chad. First of all, I want your feedback on how I did, right? So, and I kind of noticed at one point you weren't there, and I didn't think much of it. And then I saw you wheel in like the last, God, you came in maybe 5-10 minutes before I was done, something like that. And I didn't think much of it. We did our event. You got up on stage, you did your thing, and you shared at that moment, somewhere in the middle of the presentation, what had happened. And I contrast that with, and this isn't a down, like I don't want to, but I want to contrast 2 points. You looked at all of what you were grateful for in that experience. And at another time, we had a different speaker who showed up to an event. He was late. His flight had been delayed, kind of came in an upset mood, really made us feel like, bad as a host. Whatever the reason was, then, was kind of like, how does my hair look? How am I, and just really made it a lot about him. And I say this as an honor to you. You changed my perspective forever as somebody who hosts an event and somebody who speaks at events. And I just want you to know that, because the way you dealt with that not only changed your mindset, but it changed my mindset. And you guys listening to this, you don't know how an event happens and how it affects you and how it can affect others by the way you deal with it. So that's just a thank you to you for how you dealt with that situation.
Oh. I had some great people that came into the room, and again, part of your staff was there, and we got me up and ready. And a lot of that, you got to get your mind back in the game real quick. I noticed, so let me just take what you just said. I think that you said it perfectly. If I were to have dwelled on falling out of the bed and how embarrassing that was, because I know better than that, I do know how to prevent that, and I got lazy. That's what happened. I got lazy and I fell out of the bed. And so now I'm trapped on the floor there, and I got to wait, because I can't reach the phone, for someone to come looking for where I'm at. And that's what happened. The housemaid knocked on the door, and I don't know what she said in Spanish, Chaz, but it probably wasn't very nice. I mean, she wasn't mad at me. It scared her, right? It kind of scared her a little bit, because I'm on the floor, and she saw the wheelchair, and I couldn't do anything. So they get security up there. We get your staff there, so they know why I'm late. And it takes me an hour and 40 minutes to get dressed. It doesn't take an hour and 40 minutes to get dressed when I have your people with me. I think we had me dressed in 5 minutes. I'm just telling you. And I brushed my teeth and I washed my face, and we got down there, and I got there about 10 minutes, like you said, 10 minutes before you ended. That all happened just perfectly. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this is not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. This is something that could benefit other people, to show that I'm on the same level as them. They've gone through losses in their life, and nobody ever gains much until they really lose everything. And I could have lost it all that morning. I could have lost my mentality. I could have lost my happiness. I could have lost so much more than just falling out of a bed. I could have lost it all. And instead we didn't. We had it was arguably our best event out of the 4 years. I don't know. I agree. The interaction with people and the engagement, arguably one of our best events. And so I'm not saying that as a kudo to me. I'm saying that as a kudo to, again, you got to stick to those principles of the people you're surrounded by and focus on what you have and not. That's how you honor the loss. You honor the loss by not giving it 100%. If I would have given that 100%, buddy, I would have came in there and I would have been down and droopy. I would have said, Chaz, I need a 20-minute break before we start. My mind's not there. I'm sorry. Go have somebody else go do something for 20 minutes. I gotta get my mind in it. And that's not what happened. So don't give our losses 100%. Only give them enough value to make us find a way to maximize our potential. And that's I think we go through that every day. Everybody does. I not just me, but you certainly go through that.
Yeah.
Everybody, the most successful people in the world, the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. I love watching Shark Tank. Losses every day. Cuban, losses every day. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful, losses every day. You gotta read their stories. It's the truth.
So I love that you brought that up. Like, I think that's funny how as most people, we think that like somehow someone like me or someone like you doesn't go through those things on a daily basis. Like that somehow we have this superpower where we don't get frustrated, depressed, upset.
We're immune from it, right? We're immune. Yeah.
Yeah, we have it every day and those losses. So I want to ask you another question on this. So is there anything that's happened? Well, let me go back to what you just said. I don't want to miss this point. How you mentioned focusing on what you have. Is there any other tip that you have of like when your mind isn't there and you're down, and how do you get out of that? Or it feels like a skill you've learned, because I think you're one of the best at this. Obviously, you just shared a good example of that, but how do you improve that skill of just keeping that mindset right?
Okay. So I can help with that. So there's not a day that goes by that I don't get down. It's not my circumstance, it's my lifestyle. And it mostly happens when I'm not with people. So when I'm in a hotel room at night by myself and the stupid TV is on, and it's probably better if it's off. And even when it's off, it's awfully quiet. And if I'm not reading or listening to music or doing a proposal or read, whatever it might be, I start to get down and I start to miss my family. And it happens every day. Every day every day I get down. I cannot stay there very long. Otherwise it begins to surge through me, like cancer. It becomes cancerous for sure. And it spreads like wildfire. So I've got to quickly get out of that mindset. And I do that by connecting with that makes me successful. I will get Shondell on FaceTime. I will get one of my boys on FaceTime. I'll get my daughter on FaceTime. Hey, Gracie, this is Dad. I just wondering if you could help me for a minute. I'm in my hotel room, and I just wanted to see how your day was going. And we just start laughing. And she's 14. Gracie, that's great, and Gracie, how's school going? Well, Dad, I got, a C on this test. Well, Gracie, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad, now my mind starts to focus on how I can help her and maybe be a better dad. And Gracie, I'm so my mind is now no longer, man, I'm alone. I'm in a hotel room. My family's all enjoying the ranch, and here I am at the Hilton, room 402. So I've got to go to a place. I know this sounds cliche and it's probably overused. I've got to go to a happy place.
Yeah.
Don't dwell in your negativity very long. And I don't know if there's a trick to mastering that other than just do it. Just like Nike says, you just do it. You got to go to a happy place.
And I
for
love
some people, that's music. Whatever that is, it's whatever it is for you. Go to a happy place.
Well, I love that you involve people. I mean, we talk about the power of your network and the people that you connect with. I mean, that's why we call this Connect, Share, and Prosper podcast, is that connecting with others helps you move out of that, right? Helps you. I find that similarly, I hate going and staying at the hotels. I try to plan activities, basically so I can walk in the room and go right to sleep, because I don't like sitting around and then I dwell on, right? That idle mind thing.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah. So okay.
Oh, you're right.
Just to kind of wrap this and like, guys, if you're listening to this again, I have Chad Hymas on the Connect, Share, Prosper show, who's he's traveling. Was fortunate to get some time with him today. But Chad, what's like one tip if I'm an entrepreneur right now? I'm making kind of whatever mess in my life my message, and I know that I need to connect with others, as you just talked about. Like, is there anything that you've done to connect with people? Maybe there was someone in your life that you're like, boy, I'd really love to connect with them and get into their circle, if you will, and you use some strategy or skill or something like that to connect with them? Or how are you building your tribe? Like, what's one skill I could expand my network with that you've found to be successful?
So here it is. One skill that my very favorite is to don't pre-assume or prejudge that someone is not going to connect back with you, or they're not going to like your message, because that'll prevent you from introducing yourself in the first place. Don't ever pre-assume or prejudge. The very people that you think aren't going to want to help you or don't want to connect with you because they have big names or they're doing other things or they're too busy could be the one door that opens for you. Don't you ever fear reaching out. And where one door closes, I'm not going to say another door opens. Just say to yourself, who's next?
Yeah.
So if a door opens and you get the door slammed in your face, if you try and reach out to somebody you want to connect with and they say no, all you say to yourself is 2 words. Who's next? And you find that person and you reach out to them. Don't ever not reach out because you're afraid of fear of rejection, fear of, man, they're not going to want to help me. Oh, I don't know if I have, I don't know if I'm too low on the totem pole. They're way high up over here associating with these people. I'm just Joe Blow from South Carolina. And yeah. Don't ever fear of reaching out or sending an email. Today with social media, you can reach out to anybody you want. You can PM anybody you want. You can DM on Instagram anybody you want. And their office staff will get the message to them when you share what you want to share. And then if you hear back from them, great. And if you don't, those 2 words, who's next? And then once you get that start with one person, you move forward from there. Then you start building your tribe from there.
Such a powerful message, Chad. And when I was as you were saying that, I thought about this. When I saw a video of you doing a keynote and I don't even remember what it was, which video. I remember watching a video and you said something that really struck me. And I went, I want that guy at our conference. And then the doubt started coming in. Well, he's this keynote speaker that speaks at all these events. We're only going to have 100 people at our first event. He probably wouldn't come to our event. All those doubts that came in my mind, and I reached out and you guys agreed graciously to come to our event. Now it's 4 straight years and we're talking about doing events together. And like, if I just had never sent that message and reached out to your team, not to mention the things we're doing, but just the friendship that's being built. If I had
the relationship would have never agree. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. That's a perfect example. I hope our listeners just heard what you said, because here's the difference. It takes guts, Chaz. Mm-hmm. It takes courage, and courage and fear cannot exist in the mind or the soul at the same time. Mm. You gotta have courage. And if you get rejected, again, it's no reflection on you. You just say to yourself, okay, who's next? And there are plenty of people out there. The world's full. The pie is huge. The pie is very huge.
Thank you, my friend. Such good. How do people find you? How can they connect with you, get your books and connect with you on social media?
Just my name. If they just Google Chad Hymas, we're happy to visit with people. Love connecting with people on social media. It's just my name. It's instead of Chaz, it's with a D as in David instead of S as in Sam. So it's Chad Hymas, Hym as in Mark, A S as in Sam. Chad Hymas. They can Google or go to chadhymas.com, and that's how they connect.
Thank you. We'll make sure we put all those in the show notes. You guys can connect with Chad, follow him on social media. Again, be at Connect. You'll get to see him if you're part of the VIP event. We're going to have a special night visiting with Chad, and he's going to share an amazing message with each of you guys. Make sure you follow this show. You get to see this every Monday at noon on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for the recording and all the show notes on this. Again, thank you so much, Chad, for taking some time to be with me today, and our listeners. And everyone, until next time, connect, share, and prosper.
Thank you.